I can hear
Yes.
you.
All right. Yes. All right. The sound's not the greatest, but I hope there's no echo. If there is, just let me know. Um, okay. So we're just gonna go over and we'll start with what we did yesterday. Um, and we're looking at the. If you can you guys see the screen? If you want, you can pin it, and you can have a look at the screen itself. So yesterday we left off looking at what was called the Nekudos, and the Nekudos were for the pen here. Right, so we had the comets, which looks like a T shape. This is called the comets, and it has a oh sound to it, almost like a OH. Right, oh, comets, oh, it's that shape over there. Okay. The next sound that we looked at, the next Nekuda, was the patach. Patach is a straight line, and it's got a ah sound to it. So a straight line for the patach, and it's got the ah sound to it. Okay. The next one that we looked at was the seire, and seire has a a, almost like the sound like the word rain. If you think of the AR sound in rain, so that's the sound of the seire, and that is two circles adjacent to one another. That's called the seire. Okay. Moving along, we have the segol, which was the three circles, almost like a bunch of grapes, and the segol has an eh sound to it. Think of the word such as bed. So if we have the word bed, right, so the segol makes that eh sound. Okay. Moving along, we have the shiva. The shiva is it's a sound which almost has no real sound to it. It's almost like a pause or a comma. We'll see that in a moment. So it would be a very soft sound, and that would be the shva. Okay, the cholam is either a dot on top of the letter, or it's a vav with a dot on the top. And the cholam has a oi sound to it. If you think of the word, for example, boy, okay, so that's the sound of the cholam. It's like a oi sound to it. Okay. Moving along, we have the chirik, which is a single dot under the letter, and the chirik has a e sound to it. So if you think of the word, for example, tree, that's the sound of the chirik. It's the e sound to it. Okay. Moving along, we have the kubuts, which is three diagonal dots underneath each other, and that's got the who sound to it. If you think of the word, for example, in English, pool, right, so it's got that sound, that shuruk, ooh, that pool. Okay, you now also have something what's called a shuruk melufa, and that's the same thing. It's just that you're going to find a vav with a dot in the center. Now, when you have a vav with a dot in the center, that's called the shuruk as well. Okay. The last ones on the bottom of this page, Khataf Kamat and the Khataf Patach and the Khataf Segol. I'm going to leave out for now. The sound is slightly different. It's not, it varies on the word, but not enough to make a difference for our purposes. So I'm going to leave that out for now. We're not going to deal with that particular one. Now, we're going to start with over here, and let's have a look at some of the letters. And remember, the commas has a ah sound to it. So ah, and remember from yesterday, the purpose of the Nekudos is to emphasize the letters. So I'm going to read this one line at a time, and then I'm going to ask anyone who wants to volunteer to read in can unmute themselves and have a stab at it. Okay, so let's go through the first letters. So we know this is an Aleph, base, Gimel, and Dalet. So let's put in the commas and see how it will sound. So we're going to have O, Bo, Vo, Go, and Do. Okay, so O, Bo, Vo, Go, and Do. All right, guys, if anyone wants to unmute themselves and try out the first line. Anyone? Unmute yourself.
I'm not seeing the line. Is that
You're not seeing what?
The line of pronunciations?
Can't see the page.
You can't see the page.
Yeah.
Can you see the letters?
No, we don't see the letters. Just you. We see you.
Can you guys not see the under the profile?
All we can see is you, Rabbi. The picture of the sheet of letters is so small on a cell phone you can't read any of it. The only thing we can see in the main window is you.
Oh, all right. Let me just check the setting just to make sure that it's all right.
Oh, I don't even see that. I don't even see the small one.
All right, you can't see the screen at all. Let me just double check.
I can see the screen when I scroll over to the next frame where you can see all the photos of everybody. That picture
Oh yeah.
is in a small little tiny window, but you can't read it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, one second.
But I think you can click on it.
That,
Is there a way to click on that?
I tried and I can't. It doesn't come up in a bigger window when I try to get it to come up.
Do you see it? Do you see it now? Are you able to see the letters?
What we can see is it's in a small frame, but it's not in a full frame like you are right now. Your picture is in a full frame. We can see really well, but we can't see
so what you can do is just right click on the screen with and pin the video.
Yeah, for me, I had to double click it. When I double tapped it, it came up in full screen.
Yeah, if you double, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I got it up on double screen.
You got it?
Now.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
All right, I think you just pin that video, then it should be a main screen for you. All right. Okay, so guys, let's go over it. If you can see it, let's try and do that again. I'm just going to recap. So the comments Aleph, we have O, Ba, Ba, Ga, and Da. Does anyone want to try that, Antoinette?
Abba, Va, Ga, and Da.
Perfect. All right, great. Okay, so moving along, we'll pick up the pace if you guys can see. The next one will be a haze, which has a H sound, so it's going to be Ha, Va, Za, Ha, and Ta. Okay, I'll ask guys, you can practice again on your own. I'm just going to read through them for now. The next one is Yud, it would be Ya, Ka, Cha, and those are, remember, as we learned previously, those are final letters. So that will be the final Chaf, and the final Chaf, and a final Chaf. Okay. Moving along, we're going to have the next set of letters. I'm just going to read through them really quickly. We've got the Lamed, which has an L sound. So with the commas, it will be La, Ma, Na. And once again, you've got the ending Nun, which is over here. It could also be Na. And then you've got the Samach, which is Sa. Okay, moving along to the next line. We have commas Ayin, Pei, and Fei. And let's go for that line. So it's going to be A, Ha, Fa, Sa, and Ka. Okay, and moving along to the last line, we have the resh, which would be ra, sha, sa, ta, and sa. Okay, so those are going to be our comma letters. Okay, I'm going to go through the next series and we'll do the same thing with the patach. Now remember, the patach makes a sound. Think of the word up. Okay, so up would be a good way to think of the patach. It has this a sound. Or in the word, let's take a word like this, such as hat. Okay, so hat. Okay, now let's go through the letters. We know that the sounds of the what they are. So we've got a, ba, ba, ga, da. Moving on to line 2, but ha, ba, za, cha, and ta. Line 3, we've got ya, ka, cha, la, and ma. Line 4, we have na, sa, a, ha, and fa. Moving on to the next line, we have sa, ka, ra, sha, and sa. And then finally, the last two will be ta and sa. All right, so let's move along to the next set, and we'll again say them out. Now, seire has the sound which is almost like the word rain, right? It's the AR sound, and as we practice the letters, you'll hear that coming out. So think of the word rain. Okay, so let's read through the lines one at a time again. We've got a, they, gay, day. Line 2. We've got hey, they, zay, hey, and tay. Line 3, we have yay, kay, thay, lay, and may. Line 4, we have nay, say, a, pay, and fay. Line 5, say, kay, ray, shay, and say. And finally, the last two letters, we have tay and say. All right. So you guys, you'll get the hang of it, and you can watch it again afterwards to get those sounds again. Okay, now the segel has an eh sound to it. And if you think of the word bed, would be a good example of how to get that sound. So B-E-D, that bed, got that eh sound to it. Okay, so let's go through the letters one once again. We've got e, be, ve, ge, de. Moving along, you have he, ve, ze, che, and te. Yud is ye, ke, che, le, and me. Next one, we have ne, se, e, he, and fe. Next one is se, ke, re, she, and se. And finally, the last two are te and se. Okay, now let's again, moving to our next one is the shva. Now the shva, I'm not going to do because the letters of a shva almost, I'll try and give you an example of what it sounds like. It's almost not sounded except for the letter itself. So you're going to have a g or a h or a v or a z. It's not going to be heard, and when we put it into words, you'll see why I'm leaving the shva out. Okay, so let's move along to the chaylam, and the chaylam has an oi sound to it, and the word that we can think of which will sound like this is the word boy. Okay, and let's go through those letters, and then soon we're going to do some words and put those letters together. Okay, so starting from the first line, you've got oi, boy, boy, goy, doi. Moving along to line 2, hoi, voi, zoi, choi, and toi. Moving to the next line, we've got yoi, choi, choi, loi, and moi. Next line, noi, soi, oi, hoi, and foi. Next line, soi, koi, roi, shoi, and soi. And finally, the last two, we have toi and soi.
Rabbi,
Okay. Yes.
can I ask a question?
Yes,
Is
sure.
that is it the same in Sephardi? Because I was thinking it was an O sound, not oi sound, but is that correct or no?
Yes,
Okay.
so the pronunciation in Sephardic Hebrew is not going to have that so much of emphasis on the oi sound. You won't find in Sephardic, Havara Sephardic, you're not going to find that oi sound almost at all. Although it does exist, but in a slightly different format. So for our purposes, we're going to do Havara Ashkenazis, and we will come and I'll bridge the two together of how it will sound. I'm going to say a sentence both in both Havaras, and you'll hear the difference when we hear some words. So just keep that in mind, and please also remind me to hear
Rabbi,
it again. Yes.
I can add in there because the vocalization that I typically do is Mizrahi or Temani vocalization, right. and it actually makes the same sound in the Temani vocalization as it does in the Ashkenazi. So even though that's in the Sephardic category, it still makes that oi sound.
Right. So we will have. Yeah, so there are actually a number of different Havaras. I'll try the two main two, the Ashkenazi and the Sephardi. If you want to give a go at words in the Taimani, I'd love to hear that as well.
It's interesting because modern Sephardi doesn't have the oi sound, but some of the other Sephardi pronunciations do still have the oi sound.
Right. So what I will do is when we get some words or sentences, I'll say it in both Havaras, and you can actually put the two together and see the difference.
Okay.
All right. Excellent. Good. Okay. So let's move along. The next one is the chirik. Okay. The chirik has an E sound to it, and the best word to think of, which has that sound in English, like the word tree. Okay. So that double E sound. Okay, I'm going to go once again through those lines just to practice. E, B, V, G, D. Line 2. He, V, Z, C, T. Line 3. Ye, Ki, Si, Li, and Me. Line 4. Ni, Si, E, P, and Fi. Next line. Si, Ki, Re, She, Si, and the last two would be T and C. Okay, I think we have, let me just check if there are others. Okay, I think we've almost got, just the kibbutz left to do, and then I want to do a little exercise, guys, with you. Okay, now the kibbutz, or called the shuruk, is another word for that, and that has 3 diagonal lines, and it has an U sound to it. Okay, a word that we can think of would be like the word pool, that double U sound. Okay, let's go through those letters, and starting at Aleph. So U, Vu, Vu, Gu, Du. Line 2. Hu, Vu, Zu, Hu, Tu. Next line. Yu, Ku, Fu, Lu, and Mu. The next line. Nu, Su, U, Pu, Fu. Next line. Su, Ku, Ru, Shu, and Su. And finally, the last two gonna be Tu and Su. Okay, now I want to try a little exercise with you guys, and just to show you how the pronunciations, one moment, of these words are probably things that you are already familiar with. Now, if anyone wants to try and look at the screen, and let's have a look if we can identify any of these words. So let's just get our, okay, if anyone wants to have a go, I'm going to underline a word, and whoever would like to say the word based on the pronunciations. Okay, let's try that word. Does anyone have a go at it? Try and pronounce that. You can unmute yourself if you want to take a step. Any takers? Mariella, do you want to try? No? Kelly, do you want to try? Okay, you don't want to? Any other takers? Who we got? Aria.
I'm having trouble seeing it because I'm driving, so I can't.
Oh, okay. No problem.
Yeah.
All right, Antoinette, do you want to give it a shot?
Oops.
Is it?
I can try it. I know that. Well, I'll try it my way. Elephant. Elephant.
All right, so I'll read it together with you. Elephant. Elephant.
Elephant. Oh.
Elephant.
So are we supposed to be saying it in an English way?
Right, so I'm just showing you how the sound.
I'm sorry,
Right.
I didn't understand, but the
Yes.
understanding, elephant, yes, I see.
Right, so what I'm doing is I'm just showing you that the sounds are actually familiar to you, and you have these sounds already. Just putting the right words, right, and having meaning to it. Right, when we see it, we can actually make sentences. Now, I do encourage you to try and make English sentences with these letters and sounds to actually do what I'm doing here and see if you can make it. So
You want me to try that one too?
gonna give it a shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Manai.
Monkey.
Monkey.
Good. Right,
Monkey.
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 Right,
Monkey.
exactly.
Monkey.
Right, monkey. Excellent. Right, good. All right, so you're getting the hang of it. All right, let's try another one. Let's get the oi sound to it. Do you want to try that?
Okay, you want me to try again? Okay. It's hard for me to change the pronunciation of the oi. Okay. Doi,
Okay, so try what? Good.
lo king.
Good, you got it. Right, dolphin. Right, dolphin. Okay, so you got that again. So these are English words, but they're written actually in Hebrew. So you're familiar with them, but just in another way. Let's try fourth one. Anyone want to go for that? That's got an E sound.
I can try it if nobody else
Okay,
wants
so
to. It's in.
in. Perfect. Right,
Yeah.
good.
Oh,
In.
it's in the E is okay.
Right, that's an E.
I
E
I thought
in.
in.
Good.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. And this is a single letter. Anyone want to try a single letter? That's got the A sound to it. so that will be A. And let's go for the last one.
Zoo.
Who wants to go for that?
That was easy.
What is that?
Ariel, say it.
Arya, do you want to say it?
Zoo.
Zoo, you got it. Perfect. Okay, so let's put that out together. Okay, so I'm going to write here what these words are. So this was elephant, right? This was monkey. And this one was dolphin.
Monkey, elephant, zoo.
Okay. In zoo. Okay, so if you get used to the spelling, you can actually I really recommend practicing this, right? To go through the letters and try and make sentences with yourself with words to help you to familiarize yourself with the sounds and also to give you a lot of practice of getting those sounds right. And this actually can be a lot of fun making up sentences and seeing if someone else can read it. Okay, now the last stage of today, and then I think we may is have a look at some words. Okay, so now these are letter combinations of the aleph base. So we're going to only have the letters aleph, base, gimel, dalet, and hey, and vav. So right, those are for the main part. Now these are three-letter words. None of these words, some of them actually exist, but they're not necessarily words that are real words. We will come and we'll do some practice as well. Okay, and we will do what Arya, I think you wanted to do what's called root words, which are three-letter words which are the roots. These are not roots. These are just simple words of 3 and 4 letters, just again to practice the sounds. So I'm going to read them through for you, and we'll go very slowly just to get that feel for how it goes. So you got over here, A, Ba. Again, A, Va. A, V. A, V. Okay, so this over here is just to show us where we're going to put the emphasis and just on that syllable, just to get that sound right. So A, Ba, A, V. Okay, I'm going to just go through this one over here. A, Voi, Ba, A. Next word, A, Ba. Next one, Boy, E. The next one will be Boy, U. The next one would be boy. Then we have B. Then we have O, V. O, vo. Vo, vo. Vo, vei. Boy, I. Boy, U. Per, voi. Okay, now here is an example of the shva. If you notice how I pronounced that, I just had per, voi, per. So it was almost as if there was nothing underneath it. So the shva very rarely has a sound. When we get to more complex language skills, we'll see that there's two types of shva. There's what's called the shva na and the shva nach, the moving shva and the resting shva. But we'll leave that for now. So just to our pronunciation will be the voi. Okay, the next one is boy u. Bo u. O vu. And O V. Okay, and the last line we have bo ve, bo a, vo a, oi ve, and bo ge. Okay, so that's based. Oh, and there's one more line over here. Let's just do that. Then we'll just discuss a little bit more about our pronunciations. A, vo, oi ve, boy e, and this again is with the schwa, boy e. Okay, so we have over here combinations of letters that when we join them up together, we can spell out. This is what we're going to be doing when we look at words, and when we daven from the Siddur, for example, we'll be able to see words which come out and be able to string them together. Now, my suggestion is instead of trying to read fast, try read slowly and pronounce each letter with rather, instead of reading a big chunk, right, inaccurately, rather read a sentence which with more accuracy, and you'll get fluent at it. And with that fluency, you'll be able to pick up the pace and the speed. So with all these skills, it's almost like a muscle memory. The more often you do it, the better you'll get at doing it. It will become a lot more familiar to you. Now, I want to just touch on a point. I'm going to draw in cursive, and I just want to discuss for Arya the concept of shorashim. Now, in Hebrew, so we found, I'm going to write in cursive, so I'm going to write some Aleph, Base, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, Zayin, Ches, Tes, Yud, Chaf, Lamed, Mem, Nun, Samach, Ayin, Hey. Okay, I'll do the suffix afterwards. Sadi, Kuf, Resh, Shin, and Taf or Staf. Okay, now these are the what you call it. These are the cursive letters. Now, just to fill in, I'm going to write in a different color, just the suffix, so we know a mem has a mem suffix. So I'm just going to put that on this line. Mem goes to a mem suffix. We have nun. Nun becomes one straight long line. Just going to correct that. The mem, not look like that. Okay, so mem and nun. Then we've got, okay, we're up to, sorry, okay, pay. Pay has a pay suffix as well. Okay, then we have a tsadi, which has a suffix. Okay, and are there any others? And the khaf, sorry, I forgot that one. The khaf has a suffix in cursive as follows. Okay, so these are the suffix letters, and this is the alphabet in cursive. Now in Hebrew, so words are made up of roots, root words. And what we do is we add prefixes and suffixes to root words. Now, a root word would normally be a verb, right? And at the end of that supplement which I gave to you, there was a set of commonly used verbs. So let's take a verb, for example, achal. Okay, so achal means to eat. Okay, so let's just draw a line. So that is a root. The root of this word is that eat. It's in different color. So that is the root aleph, chaf, lamed. And achal is the root, that's eat, that's the verb. and it's made up of Aleph, Chaf, and Lamed. Now, it doesn't describe to me who's doing it. Now, in Hebrew, in order to tell me who's doing it, and there's masculine and feminine, so we're going to add to it a prefix, which will come, we'll do in green. Prefixes will go here, before the root, and then we're going to have suffixes, parts that end the word. Now, depending on the word, we're going to have a different meaning. So let's do that word, and I'm going to add with it a prefix and a suffix. So, Yud, then I'm going to have my Shirish, Aleph, Chaf, Lamed, and then I'm going to add a suffix of Vav. Okay, now in Hebrew, this would be Yochlu, that would mean they ate. Okay, if I take away the Vav at the end, then it will be, this example, Yud, followed by Aleph, Chaf, Lamed, so there's no suffix now at the end. This is he ate. Okay, so I've got they ate and he ate. So the prefix and the suffix changes a lot of what the meanings are. So let's do a couple, one or two more Sharashim, and then tomorrow I'd like to practice on maybe looking at some full sentences and trying to read a paragraph from the Siddur together with some translations. Okay, now let's take a Shoresh, La, Kach is to take. Okay, so that would be a root word. Right, so most Sharashim, and interestingly enough, Sharashim normally have 3 letters as the general rule. You will find on occasion a Shoresh which has 2 letters, that is rare, and you also find Sharashim which have 4 letters. Again, that's rare. For the most part, for you to remember, a Shoresh will always consist of 3 principal letters, right? And that's what we call the root. The Shoresh in Hebrew means a root. Right? So the root of any word is those 3 letters which takes in. So let's take another, it's a few more vocabulary words, some common words. Your shav is to sit. Okay. Let me think of another. Sav is to write. Okay, so here we have examples of 3 verbs with their roots. Right, so each one has just 3 letters. So lakach, to take, yashav, to sit, kosav, to write. Now when it comes to having our words, so let's take a word, and if you look at the example which we have on your workbooks and on the download notes, so we're going to have a look at the word. Let's take the word kosav, okay, and I think we used that as a primary example. Very common word, kosav. That's the root to write. Now what I want to show you now is how the Nekudos, together with the prefixes and suffixes, are going to change the meaning. Now, to write doesn't tell me who's writing, doesn't tell me when it happens, but it only tells me that to write. So let us go. We're going to have a look at, let's say the suffixes first. I think was our first lesson. So we're going to have kos, kosav. Now, if we have an aleph, and I'm just going to put that in the beginning, and there are 7 different binyanim, which again we're going to go through the notes, and I don't want to focus too much on them, but depending on the intensity, right? So you have passive, active, and there's seven different forms of it, and I don't want to go too much into it. The best way to learn is actually not by studying it directly, but almost studying it indirectly. What I mean by that is finding words and seeing the translations often brings much better results. You'll be able to get used to just by noticing the differences in it itself. So I think for today, let's stop here. And for tomorrow, let's go on to some sentences. And then perhaps we're going to look at some paragraphs from the Siddur. We're going to read and translate. And I'll show you how all the different parts come together. All right, so if there's any questions before I go. Guys, you want to unmute yourself? Any questions?
No questions, but I just want to say thank you for the class. I got to get to work, so I just appreciate you. And we'll see you next one.
Ah, great. So see you then tomorrow, please, God. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.